All righty, big announcement from Medicare yesterday stating it'll immediately expand coverage, and that for telemedicine nationwide. That to help seniors, folks, with health problems. Stay home. That's key now. Stay home. It's kind of a self-quarantine we've been talking about now for a long time, and that to avoid this coronavirus. Melissa Negrin-Wiener, no better to discuss this with, partner over against Cona Elder Law. And we appreciate a couple of minutes on a busy one here. Melissa, welcome back.
Thanks, Jay. How are you?
I'm doing okay. Big move by Medicare, well needed. And it's a new option, and it's going to allow millions of older folks to kind of take care of ongoing problems, medical problems, as well as any new concerns, and all while heeding, Melissa, the public health advice, and that's to stay home during this outbreak. Well needed here. Yeah,
really. It's really terrific. Currently, Medicare does cover some telehealth, before this, but only in certain areas, in more rural areas. And patients needed to go to a special designated area for their visits, and they had these brief virtual check-ins. But this is going to be more, encompassing. They can do it from their homes via Skype. They're also relaxing the HIPAA, the Privacy Act regulations a bit for this, because it's not something that they would typically use, like a Skype or a FaceTime or something like that. But to allow people to start using this right away, they're allowing those platforms as well.
Listen, the face-to-face contact has to be reduced. So this is a tremendous move. And, you're talking about limiting exposure to COVID-19, folks. So it's a big step. It's all about, I look at it like this, too. It's kind of a double-edged sword here, in which not only are elderly going to stay home, hopefully, with this advice and use this method, but also you're talking about visits to doctor's offices and urgent care centers, Melissa, hospital emergency rooms. We're going to need all of the facilities based on the surge of what will become as far as those testing positive and have symptoms for corona. So, in essence, you're keeping those facilities empty by doing this. So that's a nice move.
Yeah, no, it's great all the way around. And it's, I know I always talk about my own parents when we chat, but my family, too, they canceled all these just regular, doctor's appointments that, they normally have checkups, check-ins, follow-ups, because they don't want to be at the doctor's office and they don't want to leave the house. And so now they'll be able to, make sure that their other issues are being taken care of, because they can do this and have Medicare cover the cost.
Right. Talking with Melissa here. Melissa's vital as far as the situation gets Cona Elder Law. And I want to give kind of an example here, Melissa. So, in essence, let's say somebody listening might have diabetes. Don't postpone a regular follow-up visit with a doctor, okay? You could Skype now. You could Skype. So if you're concerned that you could have something here, a doctor or nurse practitioner virtually to find out how to get tested in person. See, these are all types of cases, very important information where seniors who might be wondering if you have kind of a pre-existing deal, and you may have a symptom as far as this virus is concerned, or you may not, and maybe you have a checkup and everything else in store. Well, guess what? Now you can do it via Skype. And the key thing is staying home so you don't get exposed. That's key here. We don't want the spread to go any bigger than what it is as far as you talk about the curve and everything else. But right now, those who might have a situation brewing, stay home, you can do this via Skype.
Yeah, you can do it via Skype. They're even allowing in some instances people to use FaceTime, which is pretty easy to use. There's, concern obviously about our seniors being able to use the technology. So sometimes family members will have to get involved to help out. They need to remember if they're not feeling well that they should not be the ones going over to their loved one's home to help them with this, because we're really trying to avoid the elderly population, being exposed to this virus.
Now, talk to me a little bit about, I know some of the current telehealth coverage under traditional Medicare is somewhat limited, correct? I know it's available in some of the rural areas. Patients need to go to specially designated sites for their visits. I know since last year, Medicare has also been paying for brief kind of, these virtual check-ins, as they're called. But the announcement from yesterday actually goes beyond that, right? It'll allow pretty much all hospitals, clinicians to bill Medicare. Talk about that aspect of it.
Well, it's allowing them to bill Medicare for those check-ins so that there's no additional money coming out of the pocket of the senior. So they'll have their regular co-pays, whatever they normally have to pay, depending on their supplemental insurance and things like that. But there won't be any additional expense to the senior for using this kind of virtual, this telehealth, process, and they can have any sort of checkup. So it's not going to be just a brief check-in. It's going to be whatever they have going on. If they're diabetic, if they have other issues and they need to have regular checkups, they're going to be able to do that. So it's not only the issue of stopping them from being exposed to the COVID-19, but also making sure that they take care of their other health problems without having to leave the house.
Yeah, important stuff. And I know yesterday's White House briefing also, Medicaid services also encouraging states to expand the use of telehealth in their Medicaid programs, and that for low-income folks. So separately you have, what about Medicare Advantage? We hear about that with plans offered by private insurers. They've been allowed now to offer telemedicine, correct? As kind of a supplemental benefit. Is that right in saying that?
Yes, they have. For Medicare Advantage plans, those are, when people buy a regular health insurance plan, that's also their Medicare instead of the traditional Medicare and a supplement. So they're allowing that as well. And yes, you're right. They are urging Medicaid to also expand this for people who are being covered by Medicaid, so that they can also take advantage of the telehealth.
Excellent. And please keep in mind for the seniors listening right now. So you need that two-way visual and voice connection and allow real-time interaction there. Laptops, tablets, smartphones should work. Penalties, by the way, for potential violations of federal health care privacy laws. That's going to be waived for good faith efforts in order to serve patients here. That's key. Also, hospitals and a range of clinicians, that will include everyone involved there, will be able to offer telehealth. So nursing home residents also will be able to consult. That's key also. A lot of questions regarding what nursing home residents can do, but they're going to be able to consult doctors, right, via telehealth?
Yeah, they'll be able to utilize the telehealth. Right now, I'm sure most people know this, everybody is on lockdown in the nursing homes. No visitors are allowed. No family members are allowed. We see all these pictures of people visiting with their family members through windows, and it's hard to watch. It's upsetting, but it's really for the best, in the best interest of the senior, of the nursing home resident. This way, they'll be able to limit the exposure also in the nursing homes, which, as we know from Washington State, is a huge piece of this.
No question. And the thing I love overall, everybody's working together to make it easy and waiving fees and extra stuff. A lot of people, might be, fearful of that, but you kind of like here in all facets of what everyone's going through right now, the flexibility and the maneuverability that situations of this nature have put in place. So you kind of like that as well,
Yeah, that's what we do, right? When the problems arise, everybody kind of pulls together, and hopefully that remains to be the case.
No question. Melissa, can't thank you. Melissa Negrin-Wiener, partner over at Genser, Cona Law, and so involved as far as the government benefits department, and really concentrating in many an area of this nature. And we love having her expertise on, and we'll probably talk to you down the road very soon, I would imagine. Thanks again.
Oh, thank you. Take care.